I just want to follow up from what the last person who spoke, who I know is not Christian. Um, I believe that at the end of the day, even introduction to my words, there's already the presence of that word belief, and every human being, every human being lives by a belief system. So I read a book about a man who died over 2,000 years ago, who was called the Son of God, and I believed it. And then some other persons reads the science book that tells us we evolved from apes, and then they believed it. And bringing it back home to the topic, um, I think that there are different informations, but I also believe that if we look at the simple logic behind explanation of things, you would understand that my name in my local dialect is not the same words as my name in the English dialect, but is it the same person they're talking about? I think that's the most important. That's the most important question, because in the UK, when I tell them, "Oh, my name is Esosa," they'll be like, "What does that mean?" And I tell them it means God's gift. So, and then they go, "Can I just call you Gift then?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, of course, that's fine." And then, and somebody writes about me, from Nigeria and writes his name is Esosa. And then somebody writes about me in the UK and writes his name is Gift. And then somebody comes from nowhere and says, "Oh, you're believing in two different people." Come on. I think this is a bit, and then they bring stories of, man in blue eyes, and then bring and say, "Oh, Jesus was not from there. It didn't look that." Of course, that's like old story. We all know the fact that the portrayed, so-called pictures that we have doesn't look anything like the Christ that we know, because even in Revelation, it tells us what he looks like, And I believe that in looking at the topic, the historical Jesus, which you could call Joshua, or you could call Yahweh, or you could call Yeshua, or you could call Christ or the Messiah, is the same person. It's just called different names or referred to in different places. And I believe that if we want to debate this, then we'll bring all the sources, like one of our brother rightly says, source to source. And then I just believe that this is a bit of this is like I don't know what Noto is up to, but I just think this one is a little bit too simple for us to deal with. Yeah. Except maybe we want to start going into theology of, the Old Testament, the New Testament, and then, because first and foremost, one of the questions I would like to pose is Isa an Aramaic word? And if Isa is not an Aramaic word, and then the Muslims claim that Jesus was Aramaic, or he spoke Aramaic, he was a Jew or whatever they want to say, then how then are they calling him Isa? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I don't know, if Isa is host. I know this is part of my opening statement, but I'm allowed to ask you a question. Is Isa an Aramaic name?
My brother, I've not even cared to check that too.
Exactly, because Isa is not. I think Isa is the Middle Eastern thing, I believe. But I don't know. Let me not sound. I'm already sounding ignorant. I don't know. I'm just asking questions.
It's Arabic. It's not what they call Jesus. I think it's Arabic.
Yeah. So if Isa is Arabic and Jesus spoke Aramaic and Jesus was from Jerusalem, so how are they calling him Isa then? So you see, these questions we have to throw it back at each other, because it's just. I think this one is a bit, a bit low, but we'll deal with it anyway. And thank you, host. I think that's the best I could say for now.
All right, thank you very much, the Prophet Jeremiah, for that opening statement. We welcome our chief to the show today. Good morning, chief, and welcome. Please, my dear friends, let's quickly welcome my dear friend and brother Clarice Nelson, who joins us here on Faith Unfiltered for the first time. Now, for the sake of those that don't know you, Clarice, please tell us where you're joining us from, and are you a believer in God or not?
Okay, thank you, Chiefs. So yeah, I'm joining you from Ghana. That's why I believe I believe in God.
It looks like
Something that
you're using a listening device. You're using a
yes, I
Bluetooth device.
am.
Oh, okay, it's making it difficult for people to hear you. TikTok makes it much more convenient when you even speak directly to the phone device.
Hello.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, so I'm joining you from Ghana, Accra specifically. I think it's interesting because it's something I've been investigating over the past few months, and so yeah, I just decided to join you today, and fortunately, this is the topic we're discussing. So I'm interested in to listen, and then maybe much later I'll share a few thoughts too.
All right, that's fine. So you believe in God?
Yes, I do. I do.
Are you a Christian or a Muslim or a traditionalist?
I'm questioning actually.
All right. You are welcome. Let's see how it goes here today.
Okay.
I don't know why you are so much in a hurry to speak. It doesn't happen that way. The next person that will speak is that man. After that man, confidentially, and then I will come.